Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to episode 2 of this new series on Total Extreme Wrestling 2020, NXT 2010, where we will be booking NXT starting in 2010, but not in its game show form, in its greatest form. I'm sure we can all agree, the black and gold brand of sports entertainment. We are continuing today with a build-up to our first special NXT Arrival. Last time out we had the first episode of NXT, and today we'll be looking at the next 3 weeks of NXT before next episode looking at that NXT Arrival special. We are continuing these tournaments as we look to crown inaugural champions. This episode 2 of NXT gets off a few pre-show matches because there is a lot of tournament matches to get through over these weeks. In the NXT North American title tournament, EC3 defeated Richie Steamboat in about 9 minutes by submission for a 25. Put it on the pre-show because I wasn't expecting much. EC3 had an in performance of 9, so he needs building up clearly. Steamboat got a 30, but EC3 coming out on top here, getting the win, advancing in the North American title tournament. And then we have another little pre-show match here as El Hijo del Fantasma defeats Justin Gabriel. He with a quick roll-up, rolling up Gabriel to get the win for a 33 in the Cruiserweight title tournament. 17 Fantasma, 43 Gabriel. Done alright here. Fantasma getting the window, advancing in that Cruiserweight title tournament. And then on to the main show. First of all, we have the entrance of La Sombra, and he's accompanied by Luchasaurus. La Sombra accompanied by this gigantic, intimidating luchador for a 19 here. La Sombra in action here against Zack Sabre Jr. And La Sombra picks up the win with the Sombra driver, advancing in that Cruiserweight title tournament for a 31. 27 La Sombra, 31 Zack Sabre Jr. Done okay here. La Sombra getting the window, and then standing tall over Zack Sabre Jr. after the match, after instructing Luchasaurus to take him down. Luchasaurus hitting Zack Sabre Jr. with a massive chokeslam, and then La Sombra standing tall over Sabre Jr. with Luchasaurus just behind him. A clear message being sent by La Sombra here to the rest of the competitors in this Cruiserweight Championship tournament. We then have a promo for the next match in the NXT Women's Championship tournament, featuring Bayley taking on Karma. On Bayley's side, Bayley's talking about how this is her dream, how she's so proud of herself for getting here, and she can't wait to live this dream of hers, to be a professional wrestler, to be a superstar in NXT. And then we cut to Karma. Karma, this monster, this intimidating force, this dominator, ready to break anyone who gets in her way for a 31. Bayley gives this her all. She wants to overcome the odds. She wants to advance in the tournament. But in the end, Karma is too much for her. Karma hitting Bayley with a flying splash, flattening her and pinning her to advance for the 30 here. Good matchup. Bayley with the 13 doing okay on her debut, and Karma with the 49. Karma quite dominant in the end, advancing in the NXT Women's title tournament. And you'd have to think, one of the favourites here, the 2008 to 2010 peak Karma over in TNA, moving to NXT here, looking to be just as dominant. And you'd have to think one of the favourites in the NXT Women's Championship tournament. As we move on next up in the North American Championship tournament, Kazuchika Okada taking on Shinsuke Nakamura, two massive Japanese superstars going at it, looking to advance in the North American title tournament, looking to win gold. In the end, Shinsuke Nakamura hits Okada with the Kinshasa and advances. Nakamura advancing in the North American title tournament here for a 42. Good match. 28 Okada, 50 Nakamura. Happy with this. After the match, a show of respect from the more veteran Nakamura to Okada, helping him up, shaking his hand. A good little post there, and a good match between these two for a 42. Happy with the segment rating, happy with the match between them. But it's Nakamura advancing in the North American title tournament. As next up, we have another match from the Cruiserweight title tournament. Johnny Gargano taking on Pentagon Jr. And Johnny Gargano comes out on top, locking Pentagon Jr. in the Gargano escape. Pentagon Jr. no choice but to tap out for a 23. Decent match, I'll take it. 21 Gargano, 20 Pentagon Jr. Gargano advancing in the Cruiserweight title tournament. And then we have a promo for the penultimate match of this evening. It's in the Tag Team Championship tournament, hoping for another great tag match. Last week, the Kings of Wrestling and the Usos put on a classic, and these two teams are more than capable of doing the same, I'm sure we can agree. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, great friends, taking on the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. 4 great superstars, 2 great tag teams, going at it. Both want to be the inaugural NXT Tag Team Champions. 47 for the promo. In the match, in the end, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come out on top. Sami Zayn pinning Nick Jackson after hitting him with the hell of a kick. 57 for the match. What a match between these 4 superstars. Incredible work. Even with Matt Jackson off his game. 56 for Nick Jackson, 52 for Matt Jackson, 53 Sami, 48 Kevin. Really happy with this. As Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn advance in the NXT Tag Team Championship tournament, the NXT Tag Team Championship tournament, producing some absolute bangers so far. As we get ready for the main event tonight, we have a promo for the next match in the NXT World Championship Tournament. Seth Rollins versus Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett, of course, won NXT's game show version's first season. Seth Rollins, the inaugural NXT champion. Both of these superstars in real life, a big part of both versions of NXT's beginnings, and now looking to be a big part of NXT's beginning here for me as well. Taking each other on in the main event, a 50 for the promo, and in the match, in the end, it's Wade Barrett who advances. A great match between these two. Had fantastic heat and great wrestling. Seth Rollins went for the curb stomp, but Wade Barrett kind of flipped him up, kind of in the same way that Randy Orton at WrestleMania 31 happened, where Rollins went for the curb stomp and then he went in the air and Orton RKO'd him. Rollins went for the curb stomp, went in the air. Wade Barrett caught him and hit him with the wasteland and pinned him here to get the win. 59 for the match. Really good match. Match of the night. 59 for Seth, 43 for Wade. Really happy with this, but it's Wade Barrett who advances. Wade Barrett into the semi-final of the NXT Championship Tournament. And overall, episode 2 of NXT here, getting a 49. Happy with this. Good little episode. Ups and downs, but those final two matches, once again, the tag team match with Owens and Zayn against the Young Bucks, and the World Title Tournament match between Barrett and Rollins. Amazing, really, really good. Happy with the show. These tournaments keep chugging along, and they're going to continue to do so next up as we look at episode 3 of NXT here. And episode 3 of NXT here, pre-show match, Dakota Kai defeating Aksana to advance in the NXT Women's Title Tournament. Real quick roll-up, a 9 for this, Aksana with the 5, Dakota Kai the 11. A reason these are on the pre-show. Dakota Kai very young, but I mean, I'm a big fan of Dakota Kai. All forms of her on NXT, and a lot of potential for her, a lot of upside, so gets the win here, advances in the Women's Championship Tournament, and then in another pre-show match, Neville defeats Lindsay Dorado with the shooting star leg drop to advance in the Cruiserweight Championship Tournament for a 32. Decent little match. Dorado with the 24, 40 for Neville. Neville, higher in-ring performance, and he gets the win, so hopefully he'll have some higher rated matches later on in the tournament. And then we're into the main show here, and we start off in the North American Championship Tournament. Darren Young taking on AJ Styles. AJ Styles, one of the biggest names in the company, signed from TNA. And he advances in the North American title tournament here with the springboard 450 splash. A 65 for the match, good match. 37 for Darren Young, 81 for AJ Styles. AJ Styles, really good at wrestling. It's not the most breaking of news, I realise, but it feels like I have to say that AJ Styles getting the win here over Darren Young, advancing in the tournament. And then we have a promo featuring AJ Lee and Candice LeRae. They'll be going head-to-head next up in the NXT Women's Championship Tournament. Promo gets a 22, and the match gets a 28 as AJ Lee comes out on top with the Shiranui. AJ Lee advancing in that tournament. She had a 29, 23 LeRae. Decent little matchup. You know, AJ getting the window and advancing to the final of the NXT Women's Title Tournament. Who will she face? Will she take on Karma or Dakota Kai? We'll have to wait to find out. I'm sure you're not going to be able to guess. But AJ getting the win here. We then have a promo video for a match in the tag team tournament. It's Brett DiBiase and Curtis Hennig, the Fortunate Sons, taking on the Rotunda brothers, Bo and Bray Rotunda. Obviously, Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt. Under the Rotunda name, working together, the brothers. A 33 for the promo video, and then the match gets a 36, and it's the Rotundas coming out on top. Bray Rotunda pinning Brett DiBiase following a standing senton splash. 36 for the match. 36 Curtis Hennig, 38 Bray, 23 Bo, 16 Brett. Happy with this as the Rotundas advance and get one step closer to becoming the inaugural NXT Tag Team Champions. And then have a promo in the NXT World Title Tournament featuring Big E and Skip Sheffield, aka Ryback. 28 for that, and then the match gets a 32. Decent little match. Big E getting the win with a running power slam. 41 Skip Sheffield, a 5 from Big E. Big E, a lot to learn, but a big win here for him. Hopefully help boost his popularity a little bit. 32 for the match, no complaints. You know, Big E advancing to the semi-final where he will be taking on Wade Barrett for a spot in the final. As next up we have some more action in the tag team tournament. It is the Motor City Machine Guns taking on the Briscoe brothers. We have a little promo for that match for a 32, and then the match gets a 53. Good match between these two. The tag tournament absolutely smashing it match rating wise, as the Briscoes come out on top. Jay pinning Alex Shelley following a Briscoe device. Both the Motor City Machine Guns being a 56 in ring, and both the Briscoes getting a 41, so still all doing really well here as the Briscoes do advance in the tournament. And now it is time for the main event. Kurt Hawkins and Daniel Bryan have a promo video. Both men talking about how much this means to him. Kurt Hawkins talking about how he's been in WWE. He's been around legends such as Edge and The Undertaker, former tag team champion there, but he wants to break out on his own, and he wants to do that in NXT. He says he's going to give everything he's got tonight because he wants to come out on top. He wants to earn his spot in the final. He wants to be the inaugural NXT champion. And Daniel Bryan talking about how much this means to him, how he's been around the independent circuit for so long, but now he's here on NXT and he wants his chance. He wants his opportunity at the top. And the top here is the NXT title, and that is what he's going to get. He says Kurt Hawkins is a great competitor. He's going to give everything he's got to win here. 58 for the promo. And then the match in the main event, Kurt Hawkins versus Daniel Bryan in the semi-final of the NXT Championship Tournament. Your winner and advancing to the final, Daniel Bryan. After about 10 minutes, Daniel Bryan managing to lock Hawkins in the label lock, and Hawkins no choice but to tap out as Daniel Bryan books his spot in the NXT Championship match at NXT Arrival. Daniel Bryan one step away from being the NXT champion. Can he do it? We'll have to find out. He'll be against Big E or Wade Barrett, both big guys, but Daniel Bryan never bets against him. 57 for that match, a really good match, another really good main event. 44 Hawkins and a 57 Bryan. Really happy with that as Daniel Bryan gets the win, earns his spot in the final. This episode of NXT getting a 53 rating, increased the pop in one region, slowly raising the pop, and the ratings doing really well as well. The two penultimate matches, the world title match and then a tag match, always seem to be doing well at the moment, so I'll keep that going, I think. And now, to end this episode with the 4th episode of NXT. And today's final episode of NXT gets underway with Johnny Gargano and La Sombra on the pre-show in the Cruiserweight title tournament, and La Sombra picking up the win with that hammerlock DDT. Luchasaurus at ringside once again watching on as La Sombra comes out on top, 27 for the match. 30 La Sombra, 16 Gargano, not bad. They don't seem to click at all. I mean, if you've ever seen Johnny Gargano and Andrade fight, that's just not true, but still, La Sombra coming out on top, advancing to the final of the Cruiserweight title tournament, where he will be taking on either El Hijo del Fantasma or Neville. We're about to find out. It's the second match on the pre-show, and La Sombra will be taking on El Hijo del Fantasma, who beats Neville with a quick roll-up, advancing to the Cruiserweight title match at NXT Arrival. 33 for this match. Decent match. 17 Fantasma, 40 Neville. Happy with this. Fantasma coming out on top, earning his spot in that title match against Andrade, which will hopefully be a really good match between the two masked luchadors. Onto the main show now, however, we have the first of two semi-finals in the NXT North American title tournament. AJ Styles versus Alberto Del Rio. And Alberto Del Rio gets the win after using a foreign object. The ref distracted. Del Rio smashing AJ Styles with a weapon. AJ out of it. Del Rio getting the win for a 59. 41 Del Rio, 72 AJ. Good match. AJ, you have to think, would have won this, but Del Rio cheating to get that victory over him and advance to the North American title match, where he'll be taking on either EC3 or Shinsuke Nakamura. The match next up, Nakamura makes his entrance for a 45, you know, the Nakamura entrance with the music, everyone's singing along, everyone loves it, and then in the match itself, Nakamura picks up the win, hitting the Kinshasa onto EC3 to advance to the NXT North American title match against Alberto Del Rio at NXT Arrival. 35 for the match, decent match, 12 for EC3, I think he got a 9 last week, so he's gone up quite a bit. Whilst Shinsuke gets a 47. Happy with this. It'll be Alberto Del Rio versus Shinsuke Nakamura to crown the inaugural NXT North American champion at NXT Arrival. Hopefully, a really good match between those two superstars. Whilst next up, we have the first of two semi-finals in the NXT Tag Team Tournament. We have a promo video for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Briscoes for a 33. Good little promo, you know. Both teams want this. Both teams doing well in their quarter-final matchup. We're going head-to-head here, the brothers versus the great friends in Owens and Zayn. And in the end, the team advancing to the NXT Tag Team title match at NXT Arrival is Owens and Zayn. Kevin Owens hitting Mark Briscoe with a pop-up powerbomb and pinning him for the 1, 2, 3. 51 for the match. Really good matchup between these guys. The NXT Tag Team Tournament, absolutely smashing it. NXT, you know, always producing great tag team wrestling. Doing it again here. 47 for Mark, and 45 for Jay, 45 for Sammy, 40 for Kevin. Good ratings, everyone doing well as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn advance to the NXT Tag Team title match at NXT Arrival. Later on, we'll find out whether they'll be taking on the Kings of Wrestling or the Rotundas. Whilst next up, we'll be finding out who's going to be facing AJ Lee at NXT Arrival for the NXT Women's title. It's Dakota Kai taking on Karma. Dakota Kai, much like Bayley, you know, the underdog, wanting to do this, living their dream in the ring, going head to head with one of the most dangerous women's wrestlers in the world, one of the most dangerous wrestlers in the world, full stop, Karma. A unstoppable, dominating machine. And in the end, maybe as expected, it's Karma hitting the implant buster on Dakota Kai and getting the win. Karma dominating the match, toying with Dakota Kai before eventually pinning her for a 38. Decent match. 10 for Dakota Kai, 50 for Karma. Karma doing great. Karma getting the win. And so at NXT Arrival, it will be AJ Lee versus Karma for the NXT Women's Championship. Either women would be a great inaugural NXT Women's Champion, but who is it going to be? We will have to wait to find out. Just a side note as well, after NXT Arrival, in the build-up to the pay-per-view after that, which will be NXT TakeOver, we'll be having the tournament for the NXT Women's Tag Title. I would have had it leading up to this, but there was just so many matches with these 5 tournaments to fit in. We've only just about done it by using pre-shows. So yeah, the NXT Women's Tag Title Tournament will be after NXT Arrival, and it'll be the inaugural champs will be crowned at NXT TakeOver. Whilst continuing tonight, we have the second semi-final in the NXT Tag Team Title Tournament. Owens and Zayn won and earned their spot in the final earlier tonight. Who will they be facing? We have a promo video featuring the Kings of Wrestling and their opponents, the Rotunda brothers. The Rotundas talking about family, you know, being together. They want to win the tag titles together as a family, brothers in arms. Whilst the Kings of Wrestling want to show everyone what they're made of. The best wrestlers in the world, they call themselves. And they said they're going to prove it once again by becoming NXT Tag Team Champions for a 32. And then in the match, the Kings of Wrestling, Cesaro and Cassius Ohno against the Rotunda brothers, Bo and Bray, your winners. And the team that will be facing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to crown the inaugural NXT Tag Team Champions is the Rotundas. The Rotundas pick up the win. Bray pinning Cesaro following that standing senton splash. A good match for a 44. 43 Cassius Ohno, 45 Cesaro, 24 Bo, 37 Bray. The Kings of Wrestling, amazing at wrestling, believe it or not. But it's the Rotundas advancing, and so it will be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the best friends, taking on Bo and Bray Rotunda, the Rotunda brothers. Best friends versus brothers. Who will come out on top? Who will be the inaugural NXT Tag Team Champions? We will find out. But now to find out and confirm the final match at NXT Arrival, the match for the NXT Championship. In the previous episode of NXT, Daniel Bryan defeated Kurt Hawkins to earn his spot in the final, but who will he be taking on? A promo video plays for this match between Big E and Wade Barrett. Both men want this. Big E, very new to the business, wanting to prove himself, wanting to prove that he's got what it takes to be the NXT Champion, whilst Wade Barrett's been in around it. And he says he's the best wrestler around here. And he says Seth Rollins, Big E, Daniel Bryan, none of them compare to him. And so he will be the inaugural NXT Champion, a 34 for that. And then in the match, the main event of this go-home episode of NXT, heading into NXT Arrival, Big E versus Wade Barrett. The winner will face Daniel Bryan at Arrival. Your winner, and earning his spot in that NXT title match, is Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett hits Big E with the wasteland and picks up the win for a 39. 9 for Big E, 46 for Wade Barrett. Happy with this, you know, not the best match of the night, but Big E, a lot of growing to do pop-wise and everything. But Wade Barrett is the one who gets the win. And so in the main event of NXT Arrival, for the NXT Championship, it will be Daniel Bryan versus Wade Barrett to crown the inaugural champion. Two superstars who were in the season 1 of the game show version of NXT. Wade Barrett was the winner of that version of NXT. Will he be the big winner at the start of this version of NXT and become the NXT champion? We will have to find out. Episode 4 of NXT here, getting a 45. Decent show, increased our pop in one region, slowly raising that pop, producing some good matches, especially in the tag team division. But that is going to be it for today. Next episode will be NXT Arrival. We will be crowning 5 inaugural champions. Hopefully have some great matches and get some good ratings. If you've enjoyed this video and you're liking this series, then leave a like and maybe go check out my other Total Extreme Wrestling series. I have one with WWE into November at the moment. A little preview. Titus O'Neil is going to be fighting for the Universal Championship at our next pay-per-view Survivor Series. If that doesn't entice you to watch it, I don't know what will. Whilst there's also some TEW experiment videos on the channel as well that I think are really good that you should check out. But anyway, that is it for today. Thank you for watching.